Hey everyone, Zell here, and today we're going to be going over this week's Nightfall. Today is November 25th, and this Nightfall will be going until December 2nd. Technically, I usually say December 1st, but it is a full week. And most notably, this is going to have Voidburn, but also Epic, Juggler, and Angry. And it's on Phogoth, as you can see here. So how we're going to go about this is, before we even start with any void damage, we need something with solar damage on it. That's because we need to tear through the shield of the wizards. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult, and you might even want something with arc burn because of the night shields. Because shields are terrible to deal with unless they're of the element with the burn on it, and unfortunately we don't have that luxury. So make sure to have something with arc damage. I chose Blade Dancer because I really like running Blade Dancer because I feel it's safe. And make sure you have something with solar damage. I went with a fusion rifle, but also the icebreaker later on. Now in this first part, you notice I ran through the mobs and now I'm killing them from this side. Now why is that important is because this side gives you more maneuverability, so you're able to keep damaging the mobs rather than being, you know, bottlenecked into a little tiny corridor. You're in a slightly larger corridor being bottlenecked, but it does make a big difference. So I prefer fighting these guys from this side. If you are a Blade Dancer or someone who can get over here safely, I'd recommend trying it. Otherwise, you just have to work about diddling through the other door and making sure not to die too quickly. However, this does not have the Nightfall darkness active, so if you do die here, it doesn't matter. You can always respawn. What's going to start mattering is right as you enter through this next door, you're going to be getting into the darkness, which means that if you die from here on out, you're going to be screwed. So don't do it. It's important not to, because you need to get this thing done as much as everyone else does. Now, I do take this from the perspective of a Blade Dancer who can bypass a lot of mobs, but what is important is I'll be talking about, and this first area is the hardest part of this Nightfall. Make sure to have something with void damage. I have Atheon's Epilogue, and I also have the Swarm, which is Void Element, and those are the two things I primarily use. I use my special for certain occasions when I need to get some damage out or I'm having some difficulty one way or another. With these, make sure to clear out all the enemies as quickly as possible, especially the knights when they come out, because the knights will linger into the next mob's wave and make the next mob wave even more difficult than it needs to be. As you see here, the knights are coming out dealing an immense amount of damage, so I'm going to fall back. This is your safe spot until the third wave when the wizards comes out, mind you. So this is your safe spot. You're going to peek around the corner and make sure to take out any knights that you can, and they like to run away when you go behind into that safe spot. There are other safe spots, but that is the most safe right here, because you can reload, gain some health back, and continue going as best you can. And that's going to be the general idea for this first part. Mind you, I don't know if this was with any gun, but I noticed my Swarm just shoots through their shield. I don't know what's that about, but it's nice. It's nice. I don't know if Atheon's Epilogue does it too, but as for my Swarm, it definitely just breaks straight through the Knight shield, which not many things can do. So I don't know what necessarily is happening there, but something is, and I like it. So there's the first rune decoded, and we're going to get on to the second one. You gotta make sure you're sticking your nose out here a little bit at least, because otherwise things aren't going to come and tunnel into that area. And this Nightfall and this strike in general, when it's at a high level, is really annoying to me, because you have a lot of mobs that enjoy hiding from you. They don't just come up in your face and allow you to shoot them. They like to hide behind a pillar. They like to run away from you. They like to try to bring you into the rest of the enemies, which will just kill you instantaneously. So it takes a little bit of time to go through this, and it's a little bit unfortunate because this is the biggest time sink of the Nightfall, and I haven't figured out a good way to really hasten the time of it that much. So you're just going to have to work at getting this done. Take your time, make sure you're not taking too much damage. There's a lot of incoming damage that you have to dodge or absorb, so make sure to kind of pick your battles carefully. It's really important. And if you're having trouble, just step back even further and take a little bit more time. You can always do this with multiple people too. I just do it solo to show that perspective. So that's what I do, and that's why I do the commentary, because it's easier to commentate on one person rather than multiple people. And I get to talk about the more difficult points because they take even longer when you're solo, usually. And here you see I'm waiting on my heavy ammo synth, always bring synth packs if you're doing things solo, because you'll find that certain things work better than other ones. This Atheon's Epilogue sucks against their shields. It does nothing because it has no impact. So I'm really like out of a weapon slot when I'm dealing with shields, and you can see that, like, I'm just unable to deal damage to them right now. So that's why I'm waiting on that swarm to come out, because that machine gun has a lot of impact and it does a lot of damage. So I'm just watching as he bombards that area heavily with his bullets. Wizards suck. They're very aggressive, and they can deal a lot of damage, be it arc burn or not. That's the damage type that they do deal. And it's annoying. Wizards are my most hated enemy when I'm doing Nightfalls, because they love to irritate you. They run away, they hide behind things, they dodge you when they lose their shield. Then you can see right here, he lost his shield, and I'm like, no, I'll take some damage. I want to kill it, and I'm like, oh, I missed. Because they like to dodge and hide behind everything. Wizards are never okay. Anywho, getting along with it, you can see that everything else is dying rather quickly. The swarm is making very quick work of it. So if you have a slow firing, high impact, light machine gun, it is an awesome way to go about this Nightfall. And other Nightfalls in general, it deals a consistent amount of damage, and you can kind of snipe with it, because usually the low fire rate means that it has high stability, which is very nice. And you see here, I'm cataloging where my heavy ammo synths are, so I can continue dealing damage when I need to, and I can go out, stealth in, grab the package, stealth out, and then resume my damage dealing. And that's my general, what would I say, the general aspect, the general look I am having. There we go. The look that I'm having on this Nightfall is perspective. It's my general perspective on this Nightfall. Here, listen to me not being able to talk and stuff, because it's what, 2 a.m. or so, and I just got this onto my Sony Vegas, and I'm trying to get all that stuff going. It's a late night tonight, but that is okay by me. So anywho, we're gonna continue here as I'm slowly picking off all these enemies. And still, everything deals damage. Nightfalls are like that, so take your time, as I said many times before. Yet we're almost done here. As you're picking off these enemies, as you're finishing off the second wave, make sure you're getting ready for the third wave. This is very important, because when the third wave comes out, there's wizards everywhere. Like, absolutely everywhere. And they can kill you immediately if you're not careful, because they will charge at you. And this is when your safe spot is going to change, because your safe spot that I was showing earlier is no longer safe at all. So as soon as you see the wizards, start running. Very important. And you'll see me doing that very, very soon. Right? As soon as I hear them. Right there. I hear them. I'm out. Running not to there. I'm going to use this as a little, like, stopgap. So I want to make sure they're coming into this room. And as soon as they run into the room, I'm out of here. So I got their attention, and I'm running, and as you can see, as I turn around, a wizard should be there, and he is. So I'm just going to start laying into him, and this is what I'm talking about. You attack a wizard, and then the other one comes out. You take down his shield, he leaves. You take down a shield, he leaves, and another one comes out. It's really irritating how wizards work, because they just want to eat up your ammunition without really you dealing any damage to them, and that's why I hate these sort of Nightfalls that are just about mass amounts of enemies that you have to slowly whittle down, rather than enemies that are a little bit more tactical. But that's what we have to work with currently. I wish in the future to see more Nightfalls that are a little bit more tactical rather than brute force oriented, because I think that would be more fun in my personal opinion. I don't know what you guys think. If you have an opinion on that, leave that in the comments below. I will get back to it, as well as if you have any other questions. Make sure to leave a comment below. I will be happy to answer them, so don't you worry about that. Don't feel like you're wasting my time or anything. And as you see here, I'm whittling down the wizards. I'm using that swarm to the best of its ability, and I am taking damage. They are arc damage, so I'm not worried about their damage too much, because I know I can get out of the way as soon as I need to. And these bullets aren't the hardest to dodge, so I am taking it a little bit risky. I'm taking risky steps here to get this done. And here comes out that flame weapon to bring down his shield, so I can switch out and try to deal enough damage with my Atheon's Epilogue. I'm slowly whittling him down, and there we go. He is dead, and we get to continue soon. Once you finished killing all the wizards, you still have to kill a few knights and a few straggling enemies before you actually are able to enter the doors. So you'll see me go out here, see what's around, pick out what I can, and then as soon as the door opens, I'll be gone. And that is how we're going to go about this. Sorry about that. I've got a little bit of a cough. But that is how we're going to go about this tonight. And as you see here, just kind of shooting at everything, seeing what I can take off easily. That Hollowed Thrall is going to be my next target. It should be, at least, because those things are very damaging, and you don't want to get them too close. And I'm just trying to dance around these knights. Knights still are very annoying, and as you see, I see that door open, and I'm like, I'm out of here as soon as that opens. Can't go through yet. You'd want to keep moving at all times, never stop, because everything likes to chase you. If you don't kill those knights, they will chase you, as you'll see in a second. You can hear him. He's running after me, and I hate it. I don't know when he stops, but I know that my Atheon's Epilogue is going to do nothing to him, so I'm leaving. And I hide behind here. This is where being a Blade Dancer comes in handy. I stealth, and I'm leaving. And you can just walk through all this if you're a Blade Dancer. You don't need to deal any damage. You don't need to waste any bullets at all if you don't want to, which is great. And also, it's time efficient. You get to run past mobs and not have to worry about them. And you can do this for this next area until you get to Phogoth. So, we're about done with this strike already. We got through the hardest part, which is the wizard aspect, and if you get through that, you're pretty much good to go, because everything else is a walk in the park. The enemies that I'm skipping are not difficult. Sorry again for the coughing. But the enemies that I'm skipping are not difficult at all. Again, with Blade Dancer, you stealth here. You run as far as you can, which is going to be about here if you don't have Shadowjack, and if you have Shadowjack, you'll be able to do exactly what I'm doing, which is stabbing that guy in the back while that thing's making the most atrocious sound in the world. When that happened, it actually startled me because, oh my god, I didn't know what the sound was. It sounded like a wizard was getting raped by something, and I did not enjoy it at all. Not at all. Anyways, we're at Phogoth, so what are we going to do here? We're going to shoot the hell out of him. So you'll see here that I'm just breaking his chains right now because I don't want to really worry about too much damage. He hit me once and it almost killed me. Do you see my health right now? It's below a quarter from one bullet. That was all it was. And here's where I take out the icebreaker because I know that fusion rifle is going to do nothing. So if I need to use a gun, it's going to be that icebreaker now, and that's when I switched over. Now I'm dealing whatever damage I can, and this is my safe spot. I haven't found a better spot for solo play yet. So they're dealing damage. You want to kill the knights and acolytes that do have those big booming guns with the arc damage. And if you're out here and Phogoth is not chained up anymore, you have the chance of spawning the Shrieker at any time. Now you see me here. I'm trying to dance around his bullets here because I know that they deal so much damage. Do you see how I'm trying to line of sight his face so I just shoot his arm? I'm not going for critical hits here. You're using your burn to deal the extra damage rather than the criticals. If you can get critical hits in, use them as best you can, but don't think that they're going to be the best thing to do, because the best way to deal with a Nightfall is to avoid the damage that is incoming. There's no other better way to deal with this, guys. Just avoid whatever damage. And you can see here, I want to get him to start shooting so he doesn't move, but as soon as he does, I kind of hide around and just shoot him in the arm again. And I heard the Shrieker. You can hear him. It makes a very distinct roar. Next time he is about to come out, I'll try to shut up so you guys can hear that. But it makes a very distinct roar. He comes out for between 10 and 15 seconds, it seems like, and then he disappears. And you can tell he disappears because of that double shot that you heard right there. That double shot is what allows you to know that, okay, he's out of here. He's not really doing anything because he leaves while shooting too. So it doesn't matter along his timer at all. If he leaves, he does another shot outside of his normal global timer. And here I don't want to spawn him, so you fall back. If you fall back quick enough, you don't have to deal with the extra damage. And you see me here picking away at Phogoth, making sure not to get in front of his face because those bullets will kill you very, very quickly. And then again, he's out of there. I'm checking to see when my heavy ammo synthesis is going to be up because that's very important. it deals the most damage out of anything here, so make sure to keep your heavy ammo sense, or if you have a good special weapon that is void damage, which I don't, but if you do have a good special void weapon, especially a fusion rifle, fusion rifles do immense damage when it comes to any Nightfall with a burn on it. And also, say when I'm doing Vault Glass, when I'm killing Atheon himself, I use a fusion rifle because it deals so much damage. When you have that extra damage on it, you don't have to worry about criticals, you just worry about hitting him. I think I hit him for like 1,600 per fusion rifle bolt, and there's 6 to 7 of them or something. It's ridiculous damage. It's not quite up with Gallahorn damage, but it's a really high amount of damage. And you see me here, I'm just worrying about that. Usually with the Atheon's Epilogue, you can get 2 full clips into him before you have to worry about leaving because of the Shrieker up above. So that's how that works. And that's about how this Nightfall goes, is you're just going back and forth playing a little game of peekaboo pretty much with Phogoth, because you don't want to deal too much damage, or you don't want him to deal too much damage to you, and you want to kill him very quickly and safely. That's what Nightfalls are about, again, safety, and taking it as quickly as you as an individual can, not as fast as other people can. I could have probably got this a lot faster if I wanted to, but I was playing it safe. So that's how I went about this Nightfall. And this is kind of the annoying part, but what this does allow you to do is, if you do have synths, you can check on them, you can kind of do your maintenance and micromanaging in the back while that's timing out. If you guys know of a better spot that works better for you on the solo Nightfall, let me know down below, because this is what I'm using right now, and it seems to be the best thing that I found that everyone can replicate no matter their weaponry. Sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it takes shorter, but that's the general concept of it. And he is almost dead here, so let's continue dealing our damage to him and see what we can do. You don't need criticals, as I said before. I'm dealing almost 700 shot to his shoulder, and as soon as he wants to start looking at me, I just leave, because I know that the Shrieker is going to come up soon, as he is. For my swarm, it has 60 bullets in it. It takes the full clip to summon a Shrieker, and in my Atheon's Epilogue, it seems like it takes almost 2 full clips. So that's when I know I need to start running, because these bolts deal a lot of damage. And it's Voidburn, what can you expect, right? You just have to deal with it one way or another, and I just try to avoid everything by cheesing it in this corner, because it makes it go by faster, it really does. And he's almost dead, but the Shrieker is out once again, so one more round of this, and then we'll be good to go. So hopefully guys, you enjoyed the video, and it was helpful to you. If it was, make sure to rate, comment, subscribe. If you, especially with a subscription, if you want more daily Destiny content, I put out a video daily, be it on a legendary or an exotic weapon or whatever it might be, news and tips and hints and stuff like that, fun things depending on what I find. And then also, if you did like the video, please leave a like on the video, because it supports what I'm doing here for you guys. So that would be my run through on Phogoth with Voidburn and Epic, Juggler, and Angry. And here's my build I'm using. A lot of people asked for it, so I'm putting it at the end of the video. Here's what I'm using: Atheon's Epilogue, Icebreaker, and also the Painted Helios FR4, which you could always find better things for this instance, and the Swarm, which is an amazing light machine gun. And that is the end pretty much, but as always, I'll let the credits roll with the reward that I get, whatever it may be. And today it didn't turn out to be the best thing, but hey, it works, right? So there it is. What will it be? It is the Icebreaker today, the thing that I was already using to kill Phogoth a little bit earlier. And with that, I'm out of here. See ya.